In 2021, a Japanese YouTube channel would be made that was unlike anything that came before or after. Whoever was behind this channel had a specific goal in mind, and created a series that would go on to trigger tens of thousands. That series was raising a baby pig for 100 days. This was like a project channel. All of the videos on it showed the pig being raised from day 1 when it was adopted to day 100. Now, on paper, this seems like a perfectly innocent idea. If anything, it seems very wholesome. This person's taken a 75-day-old pig named Calvi and shown the internet its early life. He'd wash it and feed it and let it sleep in his arms. You can see that the owner of this channel and Calvi had a very close bond. After all, by the end of the challenge, Calvi would probably think that the owner was her mother. Now, you might be wondering, why is it then that this channel would be classed as controversial? And that's when I have to admit that I've left out some important information. The challenge was to raise Calvi for 100 days, yes. But at the end of the challenge, the plan was to eat Calvi. The channel name is quite literally Pig Eaten After 100 Days, and on the 1st of September 2021, it uploaded a video titled Pig Eaten on the 100th Day, which included a thumbnail of a barbecued up pig the size of Calvi. This video received roughly half and half likes and dislikes, as well as roughly 4.5 million views. To some people, these are just the facts of life. Millions of people eat pig every day. Every pig was at one point a baby, so to kill Calvi would be no different to the estimated 3.8 million pigs killed each and every day. However, other people felt as though it was different. Calvi would have had a different relationship with her owner than most pigs, who were just raised on farms amongst hundreds or thousands of other swine. Many people felt as though she was treated more as a pet than livestock, which made this idea extremely taboo. So I'm sure you're wondering what happened in the end. The 100th day video shows Calvi getting scratches before getting put into an animal carrier, really cinematically mind you, and from there, so much of the video is censored, it's very difficult to decipher what happened, at least from visuals alone. However, at the end, the owner is praying to a Calvi shrine in her old crate, so you can see what's been implied. Now, while some people might be upset at that, and this did cause outrage and did cause articles to be written about the incident, it is possible that Calvi did survive. In fact, I'd put my money on it. At the very end of the video, just before the video ends, some text pops up on screen. Japanese text, which according to the comments, translates to, "This video is fiction." To add to that, a few more videos were made on the channel, and one of them translates to, "Sorry to bother you, I'm alive and well." So I think that Calvi is alive, or at least she was when that video was made. The last video on the channel was posted in January 2022 and showed Calvi looking slightly bigger than she was in the videos leading up to her apparent death, which would suggest that she wasn't killed on the 100th day, but that was the last video, so maybe she was eaten after the views dropped. Or maybe the person behind the channel realised that its need had expired and decided to call it a day. Whatever the case, this stunt garnered a lot of opposition because the people that thought that Calvi died found it cruel to raise a pig as a pet and then slaughter it. But there was also a counter-argument to that, because even if Calvi didn't die, he did kill a pig, it just wasn't the one that he raised. So is there a difference? What do you think? Whatever the case, this is the pilot episode of a brand new episode I'm launching on the channel called Controversies. In this series, I'm going to delve into YouTube controversies and scandals set in foreign countries, so there's an extremely high chance that you won't have heard of any of the stories told in any given video. If you want to see me cover a specific country's online controversies, then let me know the country down in the comment section, and if this series sees enough traction and the request is wanted enough, then I'll do it. But it's only going to work if I have the support. So by the end of this video, if you want to see this series continue, then you'll have to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel for more. Let me clarify for the future that this series isn't intending to target any country that's featured. I just think it's fascinating to discover what's controversial across borders, and many of these stories have never been told to an English-speaking audience before. This series will hopefully give me an opportunity to explain a bunch of internet folklore that hasn't already been covered to death. So let's try this next one up the size. This is the Splatoon porn incident. Now, this is an extremely infamous live-streamed incident that if you're a long-time fan, you'll know that I've actually spoken about on this channel once before in my video about the darkest depths of VTubers back in April 2023. So it's almost been 2 years since I last discussed it. Therefore, I think it's fair to go back over it because this is one of the most insane stories that you'll ever hear. It was on the 8th of October 2022 that a group of Japanese VTubers, known as Sinsogumi, for whatever reason, decided to pull what is now known as the Sinsogumi Incident, a delightfully devilish scheme that they did purely for the love of the game. If that game is random f***ing chaos for the sake of random f***ing chaos. So you know Splatoon, right? It's the Nintendo game where you have to use a paint gun to cover more of the map than the opposing team. Well, the Sinsogumi crew decided to livestream a game of Splatoon with the stakes higher than they'd ever been. So what do I mean by that? They used a chroma key, which is basically a green screen button, and set the green screen to the colour of their opponent's paint. But what would this accomplish? Well, as you might know, you'd use a green screen to get rid of the green and then replace it with something else. Literally anything you want. But what if what you want is someone straight up getting raw-dogged? Well, now we know. Their scheme was to set the chroma key colour to the colour of their opponent's paint, so now anytime their opponent's paint could be seen on screen, it would be transparent, revealing a porn video being played underneath. The more their opponent shoots, the more the video would be revealed, and so you really needed to make sure you won the game because they were live streaming this on YouTube. There were 8 VTubers involved, and apparently one member of this plot, named Hinachun, had been in the adult entertainment industry before, and so one of the videos that was being played was them taking it. One of the VTubers had their account terminated while they were streaming, and for lack of better words, this was a kamikaze attack. They knew that they were going to get their accounts terminated, but didn't care for the consequences. That said, consequences from Nintendo were yet to come. If you don't know, Nintendo, just like Disney, is quite big on making sure that their brand image is in pristine condition, and so finding out that the Sinsogumi 8 did this forced them to make a statement. The statement was delivered on Twitter and was in Japanese, but TLDR, it said that they were going to snuff this out. If anyone copied these troublemakers, it would spell a big, fat lawsuit. For that reason, and because it was mental, the Sinsogumi incident was never repeated. However, this is one story from the great country that is Japan that I just knew I had to include. Now, the Sinsogumi 8 were able to avoid a lawsuit, but as for the subject of our next story, unfortunately, she was not. Let's discuss the recent controversy of Hashimoto Tenka. Controversies, as well as other things, are getting larger and larger for our next story. This one was told to me by a close friend of the channel, Diatrip. He's a Japanese resident and a true crime creator on YouTube, so go check him out if you haven't already, link in the description. Now, this is the story of Hashimoto Tenka, often referred to as Tenchim. She seems to be some sort of actress, having an extensive Wikipedia page, as well as 1.68 million subscribers on YouTube. When you look at her channel, it looks very normal. I can't read what I believe to be kanji, but based on the thumbnails, it appears as though she makes makeup and food-related videos, as well as vlogs. Now, the controversy spawns from a collaboration that she was active in, as she had partnered up with a brand called yūchūbu, a night bra company. Now, my single ass hadn't heard of this before, so I'm sure that a few of you guys might not have either, but I believe that it's a bra that you wear when you go to bed. Apparently, she said that if you wore this bra, it would encourage breast growth. This was an incredibly successful campaign, with it being estimated in causing upwards of 3.7 billion yen to be spent on yūchūbu's MoteFit bras, equivalent to $24 million, or just shy of £20 million. But there was a secret that Tenchim had been keeping from her audience. A secret that would derail this operation and ruin her reputation. It was a secret that I'd argue was nobody else's business, but it did put her in quite a tight spot given the brand deal and claims. Tenka, without disclosing it to her audience, had received breast augmentation surgery. She had been given implants, and so many people that bought the bra thinking that their breasts would grow had been sold a lie. According to a source I found, she claimed that she went from an A cup to a D cup in 1 year by changing her bras, having massages, eating dry sardines, and drinking milk, while simultaneously claiming that she didn't have the surgery. The fact that she did was eventually discovered, which led to a huge number of people demanding refunds. Refunds that Yuiku refused to give. It's said that Tenshim didn't like this, and so she decided to sue them for an amount that I couldn't find. Yuiku, in turn, countersued Tenshim for 500 million yen for breach of contract. 500 million yen, by the way, is equivalent to roughly $3.25 million or £2.6 million. And a few months ago, in December 2024, a decision was reached by a Tokyo court which ruled in favour of Yuiku, deciding that Tenka owed them 384 million yen, equivalent to roughly $2.5 million or 2 million British pounds. I couldn't tell you how much Tenshim would have made from her partnership with the bra company, but $2.5 million is a huge amount, so I really hope that her cut from the sales was enough to cover this fine. But according to a lawyer on Twitter, he claimed that she was considering filing for bankruptcy. He also stated that the bra that she was selling was produced by her, so I'd assume that her cut would be much larger than a standard influencer promotion. The lawyer would also reveal that Yuiku's reputation had been destroyed, and if you look them up on Google now, they have a 1.7 star average, which is almost unheard of in Japan. It'll be very difficult for them to launch a comeback. Tenshim, on the other hand, after changing her Twitter username to Overwhelming Defeat, letting people know that she had lost the suit, and saying that you could guess the court decision, has also released a video since. It was captioned, "Bra debts are paid with bras," showing a video of her in some sort of clothes-making planning phase. It appears as though her plan is to make more money by selling bras, this time without Yuiku. And since the cat's out of the bag in regards to her surgery, the chances are that she won't get sued again. Some of her fans have said that they'll support her and buy them if the bras are cute enough. She also made a video discussing the loss on her channel, but she's received quite a lot of flack for this series of events. Many of her videos have received thousands of dislikes, people are flaming her in the comments, and based on the translations, it appears as though people think that she's had a lot of plastic surgery done. And now, they're mocking her for it. Her career has continued. She still gets hundreds of thousands of views per video, so we'll have to wait and see if she can bounce back from this costly and humiliating controversy. Once again, I want to thank Diatrip for giving me that lead to research and explore, and I think the way to properly thank him is to give him a chance at telling you guys the next story. I think it would be really nice for this video to have a story that comes from someone who is actually a resident of Japan. So for the next story, I'm going to leave you guys in the safe hands of Diatrip as he explains yet another incident of a Japanese content creator receiving a massive online backlash. So Diatrip, take it away.
Japanese YouTubers are really no stranger to saying something off the cuff during a really long video or a live stream and having to make an apology video about it directly afterwards. However, something that might surprise you is that the comments on the Japanese side of YouTube are debatably considered to be even more hateful and unforgiving than the Western side of things, which is already pretty bad. Just recently in the Saitama Prefecture of Japan on January 28, 2025, a large sinkhole opened in the middle of a busy intersection. While it started out being about 10 meters in size, it quickly grew to engulf even most of the area around it. This led to cave-ins, homes being destroyed, and many more homes in danger of being destroyed, cables being severed, water being rationed, and more. More than that, it's known for sure that at least one truck with a 71-year-old driver fell into the sinkhole early on. As of several weeks later, he still hasn't been found. It goes without saying that the outcome is fairly grim. It has also been rumored that a taxi might have fallen in as well, leading to an uncertain search that has already carried on for quite some time with little results. This is where two YouTubers, the Nakamachi Siblings, come into play. The duo consists of Junpei and Aya Nakamachi, together sitting on well over 1 million subs on their main channel and even more when you factor in their individual social media accounts. While on a live stream one evening, the two decided to start talking about the sinkhole in Saitama. While talking about the incident, Aya is noticeably laughing while Junpei seems to laugh more awkwardly. Aya, speaking about the incident, says that it makes you wonder if it's best not to have multiple trucks crossing the road at once as it might be too heavy. She said that things like this are making people rethink how to live. Junpei responded with, "We're always trying to live without dying, though." To this, Aya responds with, well, it would be funny if they all died instantly. Junbei quickly tried to overcorrect by waving his hand and saying that, as her family, he wouldn't find it funny if she died instantly. But then they laugh about the possibility of finding out that one of their family members had died by falling into a hole. Given that the incident wasn't only recent but still ongoing, it goes without saying that their fans didn't really react too positively to these comments. In fact, Saitama is a very populated area near Tokyo, meaning a lot of their Japanese viewers are likely somewhat close to the event. The comments turned on the two instantly, with the both of them being forced to release an apology video shortly afterward. The apology video was actually very bland, with the two stating in a very formal, almost robotic way that they were sorry to the victims and the families of the victims. They said that, rather than make anyone sad, they strived to make their viewers smile before ending their apology. The comments didn't take too kindly to the whole thing at all. Many of the comments were saying that they need to retire after this. One comment read, "You aren't sorry because you believe you're in the wrong. You're sorry because of the effect this might have on your career." Other comments said that they seemed to be blaming the truck driver for causing the sinkhole somehow, noting that he was doing nothing wrong or unusual at the time and couldn't have possibly foreseen it happening. They asked how something like that is even a laughing matter. As of now, the Nakamachi siblings' career is not looking too good. Even other Japanese YouTubers are criticizing the apology video itself, saying that it wasn't sincere and that it was only made for views. Whether it's in the idol world or even on YouTube, Japanese fans aren't so quick to forgive when something like this comes up.
So the next controversy we have in this video, I kid you not, caused a race war between the Japanese and Indians. Now please allow me, not just a white man, but a ghostly fucking pale white man, to explain what happened. Essentially, there was a band known as Candy Fox, who, if I've got this correct, today goes under the name Rapunzel Fox. From a source I found, they changed it to Rapunzel Fox after this controversy, but please do take that with a grain of salt, because I don't know this for absolute certainty. However, I am very confident that this is the same artist, given that on their YouTube channel, in the description, they give a link to the Candy Fox website. Speaking of YouTube, they also have quite a large following on there, with over 1.4 million subscribers. All that said, the important thing was that back in the spring of 2021, Candy Fox released their 5th song, titled Namaste Curry Please. And, well, you might be able to see where this is going. This song, Namaste Curry Please, was filled to the brim with a bunch of negative Indian stereotypes. For example, it negatively portrayed the Hindu god Ganesh and included the lyrics, "From the time since I was born, I haven't eaten anything except curry. If I eat anything except curry, I'll strip myself and dance naked." Now, the idea that Indians are all obsessed with curry is often deemed as a racist stereotype, and for that reason, it's no surprise that re-uploads of the song have very negative like to dislike ratios. However, in response to seeing racism against them, Indians in the comment section decided to be racist right back. A lot of them were making comments about the Japanese having small eyes. For example, one commenter said, "They have such small eyes, they can't see the truth." However, this story got even bigger. Articles were written about it, video responses were made to it, and things even went so far that the Japanese embassy in India actually made a Facebook post about the incident, stating that it was a regrettable video. Many fellow Japanese felt as though this would tarnish the Japanese name in the eyes of foreigners. The song was eventually deleted from YouTube, and many people involved in the making of the video made public apologies. Realistically, this video doesn't represent all Japanese people, just as the comment section doesn't represent all Indian people, but why Candy Fox decided to make this, I have no idea. But it opened up a can of worms that really took the Asian internet by storm. It would definitely make sense for Candy Fox to change their name following the controversy, which was a very needless one, all things considered. Now, you could definitely make the argument that the only thing hotter than the curry that Candy Fox was singing about was the water being used as an instrument of abuse in our next story. This is perhaps the darkest story in our video and took place over 2 months, resulting in 2 arrests. So let's find out what it is. Up next, we have the crimes of Rei Fukuoka, a YouTuber with more than 160,000 subscribers. In 2024, however, some sickening crimes that they were alleged to have committed were exposed to the world. This article from newsfromjapan.com describes how Fukuoka, known on YouTube as Gahakyu, regularly assaulted a male victim that she lived with. Some of these assault allegations are extremely serious and seriously cruel. For example, she was alleged to have attacked the male victim in his 20s with a hot frying pan on one occasion, pressing it against his back, and attacked him with boiling hot water on another, pouring it on his face. The victim described his life as a living hell. The pair also lived with a third person named Hiroaki Kaneko, a 34-year-old who was also said to have been an assailant in these violent crimes. The victim and Fukuoka were employees at a bar run by Kaneko, who was in a relationship with Fukuoka. Kaneko allegedly insisted on living together to rehabilitate the victim, whom was considered untrustworthy, telling him, "You can't be trusted, we will live together until you become a responsible person." According to the Tokyo Metropolitan Police Department, the victim was made to work in food delivery, with his earnings controlled by Kaneko. When the victim failed to meet set targets, he was punished with assaults involving a frying pan. This news broke in mid-June 2024, and you'll notice that on the Gahakyu channel, the last upload was put up shortly before that. It received overwhelming hate and condemnation. The comments were well and truly going after Fukuoka. Side note, by the way, what the hell is up with these thumbnails?
What the hell is even that?
This animated manga channel has seen a very large dip in viewership since this came to light, with them resuming uploads in 2025. That said, the people that came to hate on their videos prior to the hiatus are now gone, so it's possible that perhaps they'll avoid any major consequences, at least on YouTube. But according to a Japanese source I found, it stated that Fukuoka had been sentenced to 6 months in prison and 3 years of probation in October 2024, which means that if this is correct, she should be in prison right now. It also said that she told the court that she would stop making videos, so who's behind the channel right now? I don't know. Or maybe I'm just missing something in translation. Whatever the case, this was yet another example of a Japanese YouTuber that was in hot water. So that brings us to the end of the video. But if you want to watch another one from me, perhaps another one that extensively covers YouTube controversies, then why not watch my hour-long video on YouTube downfalls next? I'm damn sure you won't regret it, that is one of the best videos I've ever made. Click on the screen now to give it a watch. If you want to see the series continue as much as I do, then please make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already yet, and let me know down in the comments which country you'd like to see me cover next. Also, a massive shout out to Diatrip, go make sure to check his channel out, link in the description. And lastly, I'd like to thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.